2 Samuel chapter 24. And the anger of Yahweh adds to burn against Israel, and an adversary moves David about them, saying, Go, number Israel and Judah. And the king says to Joab, head of the host that is with him, Now go to and fro through all the tribes of Israel, from Dan even to Beer-Sheba, and inspect the people. Then I have known the number of the people. And Joab says to the king, Indeed, your God Yahweh adds to the people as they are 100 times, and the eyes of my lord the king are seeing. And my lord the king, why is he desirous of this thing? And the word of the king is severe toward Joab and against the heads of the force. And Joab goes out, and the heads of the force, from before the king, to inspect the people, even Israel. And they pass over the Jordan and encamp in Aroer, on the right side of the city that is in the midst of the Brook of Gad, and to Jazer. And they come to Gilead and to the land of Tahtim-Hodshi. And they come to Dan-Jaan and around to Sidon. And they come to the fortress of Tyre and all the cities of the Hivite and of the Canaanite, and go out to the south of Judah, to Beer-Sheba. And they go to and fro through all the land, and come into Jerusalem at the end of 9 months and 20 days. And Joab gives the account of the inspection of the people to the king. And Israel is 800,000 men of valor drawing sword, and the men of Judah 500,000 men. And the heart of David strikes him after that he has numbered the people. And David says to Yahweh, I have greatly sinned in that which I have done. And now, O Yahweh, please cause the iniquity of your servant to pass away, for I have acted very foolishly. And David rises in the morning, and the word of Yahweh has been to Gad the prophet, seer of David, saying, Go, and you have spoken to David. Thus said Yahweh, I am lifting up 3 choices for you. Choose one of them, and I do it to you. And Gad comes to David, and declares it to him, and says to him, Does 7 years of famine come to you in your land? Or are you fleeing before your adversary for 3 months, and he is pursuing you? Or is there pestilence for 3 days in your land? Now know and see what word I take back to him sending me. And David says to Gad, I have great distress. Please let us fall into the hand of Yahweh, for his mercies are many, but do not let me fall into the hand of man. And Yahweh gives a pestilence on Israel from the morning even to the time appointed, and there dies of the people from Dan even to Beer-Sheba 70,000 men. And the messenger puts forth his hand to Jerusalem to destroy it, and Yahweh sighs concerning the calamity, and says to the messenger who is destroying among the people, Enough now, cease your hand. And the messenger of Yahweh was near the threshing-floor of Araunah the Jebusite. And David speaks to Yahweh when he sees the messenger who is striking among the people, and says, Behold, I have sinned, indeed, I have done perversely. And these, the flock, what have they done? Please let your hand be on me and on the house of my father. And Gad comes to David on that day and says to him, Go up, raise an altar to Yahweh in the threshing-floor of Araunah the Jebusite. And David goes up according to the word of Gad, as Yahweh commanded. And Araunah looks and sees the king and his servants passing over to him. And Araunah goes out and bows himself to the king with his face to the earth. And Araunah says, Why has my lord the king come to his servant? And David says, To buy the threshing-floor from you, to build an altar to Yahweh, and the plague is restrained from the people. And Araunah says to David, Let my lord the king take it, and cause that which is good in his eyes to ascend. See, here are the oxen for a burnt offering, and the threshing instruments, and the instruments of the oxen for wood. Araunah has given the whole as a king to a king. And Araunah says to the king, Your God Yahweh accepts you. And the king says to Araunah, No, for I surely buy from you for a price, and I do not cause burnt offerings to ascend to my God Yahweh for nothing. And David buys the threshing-floor and the oxen for 50 shekels of silver. And David builds an altar to Yahweh there, and causes burnt offerings and peace offerings to ascend. And Yahweh accepts the plea for the land, and the plague is restrained from Israel.